What is up, everybody? This is episode number 19, ESO Recapped. Got tons of information I want to cover tonight. I won't be able to actually cover every single detail on one of the patch notes that I'm going to be going over. So episode number 20, I'm going to be covering the remainder of PTS Patch 1.1 and some additional stuff with Craglorn. But for tonight, what we've got is patch 1.0.5 that was applied to the live servers. We've also got patch 1.1, which is being applied to the PTS, which is the private testing server that a lot of the people that's been in the PTS for the past few months is currently testing, doing Craglorn testing right now. So we're going to go over what patch 1.1 is putting into the PTS and what you can start to expect to see into the live servers in the future, the near future that is. And also I'm going to do a Craglorn walkthrough. So that's pretty much what we're going to be going through tonight. And like I said, there is a ton of information for me to cover. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, patch 1.0.5. Like I said, this is what has been applied to the live servers. And this was applied, I believe, is Monday or Tuesday, somewhere around in there. So what we've got first, combat and gameplay. ZeniMax has fixed an issue where curing vampirism or lycanthropy was yielding more frequent experience and gold gain than it was intended. Exploration and itemization. You now need to wait several minutes after looting a delve or an overworld boss before you are eligible to receive loot from these types of bosses again. That is directly related to, you know, the bots that you've been seeing hitting stuff, and ZeniMax is definitely on top of that. So it's good to see that, you know, they're addressing those issues. Miscellaneous, they fixed an issue where it was possible for you to be teleported off the map. Quest, main quest line, messages across Tamriel. Venus Galarian is much easier to find. God of Schemes, the survivors in the harborage will now always speak to you if you leave and come back. The Weight of the Three Crowns quest, the Alliance leaders are now always present. Under guilds, Will of the Council quest. The levers that are used to open the portals can now be interacted with more reliably. The Dangerous Past. Seize All Colors will now always perform her theater scene at the end and take the portal out of the dungeon. Circus of Cheerful Slaughter. They fixed an issue where you would not get credit for killing the Aldmeri soldiers. And then under zones, they have, again, tons of progression and interactable fixes across multiple zones. If you want to go through each individual zone and see what they fixed for maybe a quest that you couldn't do, go to the forums.elderscrollsonline.com, get logged in there and check out patch notes. Just click on the patch notes section up at the very top. You'll see patch notes, and just click on the 1.0.5 patch notes section, and then you can read the remainder of the zone fixes. But there definitely was a lot. Excuse me. Now let's go ahead and start covering the PTS update. Again, this is only been applied to the PTS. This is not live changes. First, PTS templates. PTS participants will be able to create a veteran rank 9 character on the PTS in order to test Craglorn. All you have to do is click Create. In the top left-hand corner, there's a drop-down, and then select Craglorn. Craglorn is, of course, a veteran-ranked zone that is set up in order for you to be in groups. Doing exploration, you know, get a partner to run around with, groups of 4. The monsters out there are intended for groups. It's not intended for you to go out and explore this by yourself. There are new quests available in Mournhold, Wayrest, and Elden Root. These quests, which is in each alliance zone, will lead you to Craglorn. Trials. There's 2 trials, Helra Citadel and Etherean Archives. They're open. This is the groups of 12 players can take on difficult challenges and earn new loot and be placed on the leaderboards. The groups will need to be very coordinated. Currently, there is a resurrection limit, which we already know that from the last episode, that's going to be in there, and in the PTS, it is set to 60 right now. These trials, they give special rewards the first time they are completed for each week. And also, whenever you're in combat with any monster in the trial, it will block resurrections for group members until combat ends. The trial leaderboards. Trials will trigger a timer that will end when the trial can no longer be continued or it is complete. The timer is used for leaderboard scoring. The leaderboards are updated periodically about every 5 minutes, so they may not be 100% current when you view them. You can see your best times for all trials via the trial leaderboards. You can see the trial leaderboards of the top 100 times for each trial and current trial of the week. Apologize about that, I had to cough. Okay. Friends and guild members will be notified via notification window when you improve your best time in the trial. So whenever someone sets a new time, you'll get a notification of that. Trial of the week. The trial of the week starts and ends at specific times, which will be different for the North America and the EU servers. The North America Trial of the Week starts on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time and ends the following Tuesday at 8 a.m. Eastern. The EU Trial of the Week starts on Tuesday 6 a.m. Eastern and ends the following Tuesday at 12 a.m. If you are on the trial leaderboard, you will be rewarded when the Trial of the Week ends, and you can expect your item to be in the mail. A new Trial of the Week is selected at the Trial of the Week start time. The Trial of the Week leaderboard is cleared when the new Trial of the Week begins. Veteran rank updates for 1.1. You can earn up to Veteran rank 12.
Was that, real quick, was that glitchy for anybody else or just me?
I'm fine. Veteran rank updates. You can earn up to Veteran rank 12 as you continue your adventures in Craglorn. Additionally, the Veteran rank XP earned from killing enemies has been more than doubled. Instanced Dungeons Chest. Again, this applies to only instanced dungeons and the chest inside of them. These chests are now shared. Each player in a group within 50 meters of a chest get an individual roll on a chest when it's opened. The chests have been reduced as far as how many of them are in these dungeons. Since each chest yields rewards for all group members, they've been reduced to 2 total in the instance. These chests will appear in random places. So when you go into, the 16 regular dungeons or the 6 veteran rank dungeons, there will be 2 chests in those dungeons, and that's it. As long as you're within 50 meters of whoever opens it, you're going to have a roll on it, which if you look at it, that's probably about what people was getting on average. It was about 2 per run if they split them up equally. So it's good that they've reduced the number down, making them random, and you actually have to look for them now instead of just knowing go point A to point B and get the chest as you go about. Also, a death recap has been added, giving you a summary when your character dies, showing what abilities and the damage that you took that contributed to your death. There have been some Alliance War changes with patch 1.1. New population underdog bonus has been added when your alliance is outnumbered in a campaign determined over several days of samples. It will receive a bonus to potential scoring and alliance points. You'll see an indication of this bonus in the scoring UI if it is active. The XP rewarded for killing enemy players has been doubled. XP rewards for completing the quest to kill 20 players has been increased. New battle level option in the gameplay settings menu will allow you to choose whether you want your stats to be automatically adjusted in Cyrodiil, or if you prefer to use the raw values of your stats. What does that mean? Here's a good scenario of what happened. Let's say that I go in at level 30 and I have 2400 magicka and I have 1200 health. Cyrodiil will level me up to 50 and adjust my stats for that.
Wake up.
Landon, can you pull Dub up here, please?
I can't. Insufficient permission.
All right.
User was
got him.
moved to your channel.
So whenever it pulls my
Sorry.
User was moved
All right.
to your channel.
So as I was saying, the battle level option, Cyrodiil will level you up appropriately to a level 50. If I'm like level 35 or 37 or something, and I have, say, 2400 magicka, 1200 health, Cyrodiil may actually level me up, but pull my magicka down to, say, 2100 magicka and bring my health up to, 1800 to 2000 health and balance it out. If I don't want that to happen because I feel that I'm fine with my 1200 health and I want my 2400 magicka because I do more damage, if that's what I want to do, I have the option with this new patch, it's in 1.1, to tell the system, I don't want you to balance me, leave me at my raw values. Now this option can be toggled on or off when you're outside of Cyrodiil and in Cyrodiil's caves, so that's the only place that you can turn this thing on and off. You're not going to be able to do it in the heat of battle in Cyrodiil. Some things about guards in Cyrodiil. Guards have been repositioned, they respawn more quickly, they've added archers, melee guards will now throw oil, honor guards have new abilities to help fend off attackers, keeps surrounding the Imperial City have additional guards stationed by their second floor quartermaster. So that's some really awesome changes about guards that they're making within Cyrodiil. So you can expect some more resistance from the guards. That's good. Higher resolution textures. In patch 1.1, we're seeing some higher resolution textures for all non-humanoid enemies that are now available. They've also fixed multiple graphical issues with armor. An example would be like helmets with Khajiits. Your ears would stick up, or the Argonian, your horns or whatever may stick through the helmet. They've adjusted those graphically. They've made some audio improvements as well with 1.1, and I've made some notes as I was playing in PTS earlier that I could definitely see some audio differences. Next thing I definitely wanted to hit on is the classes. There's some pretty significant changes to classes that is coming with 1.1. First, we're going to cover Dragon Knights, and I'm going to try to go through these as quickly as possible. Dragon Knights, Burning Breath. They fixed an issue where this ability was doing less damage than intended. Burning Embers now heals you if your enemy target dies while affected by Burning Embers. Dark Talons. If the monster has snare immunity, Dark Talons will still damage that monster. It won't snare it, but it'll still receive the damage from it. They also fixed an issue where people were not able to activate the synergy from Dark Talons. Inhale. The ability, the initial life drain morph can now hit a maximum of 3 targets. This also applies to Inhale and its morphs. Petrify. Enemy target health regen bonus while they are affected by Petrify and its morphs have been removed. Razor Armor. Fixed an issue where this ability wasn't granting bonus armor for the first 3.5 seconds. Lastly, Spiked Armor. Damage return for this ability and its morphs have been increased. The Nightblade. Catalyst. Fixed an issue with Catalyst passive ability. It will now properly increase the effect of speed potions. Dark Shades. Summon Shade Morph. This ability now deals more damage as the ability ranks up. Focused Attacks. Fixed an issue where ranks 2 through 4 were not restoring stamina. Sap Essence. Drain Power Morph. They fixed an issue where the ability wasn't granting the initial weapon damage bonus that you should receive when no target is hit. Next, the Sorcerer. Endless Fury. This ability restores magicka if the secondary explosion kills an enemy in addition to the initial bolt. Persistence. Fixed an issue that this passive ability, it now properly increases the duration of Rune Prison ability. Rebate. Fixed an issue with this ability, it will now properly recover magicka when your summoned Winged Twilight is killed. Lastly, Summon Charged Atronach. Storm Atronach summoned by this ability now increases the damage as the ability ranks go up. And lastly, the Templar. Aurora Javelin. They fixed an issue where the Aurora Javelin was adding less damage than intended for an additional 40%. Channeled Focus. Fixed an issue where Channeled Focus was not giving the intended amount of magicka. Cleansing Ritual. Abilities Purify Synergy now appears to allies that have negative debuff that can be removed. Master Ritualist. Decrease the ability's Resurrection cast speed bonus. Radiant Ward. Fixed an issue where this ability wasn't properly progressing as it ranked up. This will result in a slight increase to its damage. Rite of Passage. A couple things changed here with Rite of Passage. They slightly increased the healing done, and their Remembrance Morph now gives allies 20% damage reduction at all ranks rather than scaling it up from 16% to 20%. Ritual of Rebirth. The Healing Ritual Morph. They increase the self-healing of this Healing Ritual Morph. And lastly, Spear Shards. The visual issue. There was a visual issue with this ability where the spear was falling horizontally. And now the last thing that I wanted to cover in episode number 19 is just a Cyrodiil walkthrough.
Craglorn.
Or Craglorn. Sorry, I don't know why I keep saying Cyrodiil whenever I mean Craglorn. Alright, so basically I'm already out in Craglorn here, just to show you guys where this thing is located on the map. It's just northwest of Cyrodiil. Maybe that's why I keep saying Cyrodiil, because it's so close. But it's up in the Daggerfall Covenant territory. Again, this stuff is veteran rank content. The monsters outside of Craglorn are, no joke. You go out and try to solo them. I've managed to kill a few things solo, but not many. They're definitely very difficult, and I've been seeing a lot of people, talking about how the difficult this stuff is, and it is intended for a group, bottom line. So the first thing that you got here right in front of me is the town of Belkarth. This is going to be your main town in Craglorn. There is a way shrine, and you will see multiple way shrines in Craglorn. As I said in previous episodes, the zone is pretty big. It's about 66% the size of a normal zone. You will have crafting stations throughout here. There's vendors, there's a bank, horse stables, and the game just took a dump. So we'll get that launched back up. But in the main town, like I was saying, you do have crafting stations. You do have vendors there that you could go and buy gear from. You do have access to a bank inside the town. You can go and purchase a horse from there if you need to buy a horse. Or feed your horse, I should say, even. The town itself is not exceptionally large. But it's definitely big enough to house everything that you need out of it. There is a new crafting station that we found. We've been doing some running around in Craglorn today, and just trying to find just as much stuff as we could to bring some information to you guys. But we're going to be bringing some more stuff, like I said, next Saturday about Craglorn. We've got a few things that we're still not exactly sure on how they work yet, and we've not been able to test them. But we did find a new crafting station, as I was saying. It's called, it's at Lanista's Way Station. It's right up here in the north center section of the map. And the set bonus is of the arena. It's got 3 set bonuses. The 3-piece set bonus increases your health. 4-piece set bonus increases your armor. And 5-piece makes your ultimate cost lower. So, there could be some people out there that finds that extremely useful. But that's where you're going to be able to get that set piece of armor. Is going to be from Lanista's Way Station. You guys that are in here, do you remember what the trait requirement was on that? Was it 8?
8, yes.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. It was 8. Alright, next thing, delves. There are 12 delves in Craglorn. Now, what are delves? They're pretty much like the open world dungeons, if you will, except they're instanced to your group, 4-player group. They appear on the map like a dungeon. So you'll see the torch with the plus on it right here. And these are your delves. As you can see, I've discovered, a few of them, but there's 12 total all over the map. And like I said, these are short dungeons. You do have a boss at the end of them. And there's also a sky shard in the delve as your group progresses through it. The next thing that you will see is called the magical anomalies, and this is one of the things that I'm not 100% sure on how they work, for the simple fact that we couldn't complete one with the people that we had available, but they definitely look pretty awesome. It's right to the north up here. They appear on the map as like an alien ruin. And it's basically a big circular area. And you'll see that it's got like a red beam coming up from it. And it has a crystal in the middle of it. And you step inside of this thing, and if you come over and you hit this crystal, I'm not going to hit it now because I don't want to die, but when you hit this crystal, there are monsters that will spawn all around this outside edge. And they'll begin attacking you. And from what I can tell, your goal is to destroy this crystal. And whether or not more monsters spawn in, I would assume that more monsters will spawn in. They may get progressively more difficult, who knows. But that's some stuff that we do have to test, and we're going to try to get that information to you guys next Saturday. But I think that that's one of the things that ZeniMax was talking about that is kind of like a Dark Anchor, but it's a little bit different. So that's one of them. The next little deal, and it's kind of similar to the magical anomalies, but it does have a little bit of a twist to it. And these are known as the Ankh-Ra burial sites. Now these things appear on your map as like a little temple. There are 5 of those in the zone. And about the magical anomalies, all of those are on the eastern part of Craglorn, and all of the Ankh-Ra burial sites are on the western part of the zone. Now what happens with these Ankh-Ra burial sites is when you get to them, there's going to be an NPC there that is requesting your assistance. And when you talk to them, you tell them that you want to help them, they're going to start a ritual with this red beam, and you're going to have ads that will start spawning on all 3 sides around him. So to the left, to the center, and to the right. And there'll be a mixture of melee and ranged ads that you'll have to kill off. But your goal is to protect this guy, the Stargazer Priest. He will stand right here in the middle, and he'll be doing like a prayer type thing, and you've got to keep the monsters off of him, and you can't let him die. And it's going to go back and forth between this melee and ranged combination of mobs coming in for the first wave of ads, and then we've seen some gargoyles that spawn down, and you could have one spawn here and one on the opposite side, or maybe one here and one in the middle, but there's 2, and they walk slowly towards this priest. And they got quite a bit of health, and you have to kill them off before they get to the priest, otherwise they explode and deal quite a bit of damage. And this will go on about 4 waves, and then you'll have a bigger boss spawn. And when that bigger boss spawns, he could have multiple different abilities, and you just basically got to kill him before he can manage to kill the NPC. What do you get for the rewards? I don't know. We almost had one down, but we did not kill it. So again, that's some more information we'll try to get to you guys, and if any of this information changes, then it'll be in next week's episode. And lastly, for tonight's episode, and this is something that a lot of people has been interested in and so worried about, is trials. And as I said at the top of the episode about trials, there are 2 trials that we have available to us. On the left hand side of the map here, far west, we have Hellross Citadel, and to the far right we have the I can't think of it, Archives, Aetherian Archives, and that's the one we're going to go to. I tried to go into Hellross Citadel earlier, and it said I didn't meet the requirements to get in, so I don't know if you have to complete one before the other or what, or maybe it's a possible bug, who knows, but we just have to test that more. And as I said about trials at the top while I'm running up here, again, this is 12-man content. You are not going to come in here with, small group and complete this stuff, and you'll see why in just a few minutes. From what I've seen so far, there are multiple rooms that you'll be going through that has monsters and things in them. There are environmental hazards, as I mentioned last week, that you do have to watch out for. You'll see that in here as well. And it appears that you're going to have to definitely be very, very coordinated with your groups as far as handling multiple monsters. The first pull of our Aetherian Archives, was fairly difficult. Dubba in chat is yelling, "Hit it." You wanted me to hit that crystal just so I would die.
That was a long time ago, dude.
Yeah. It's hard for me to keep eyes on chat and going through my notes. It's another reason why I allow everybody at the end of the episodes to ask any kind of questions about what I cover, because it's much easier for me to cover the questions that way.
Right.
Now, when you get into these trials, this is something that I thought was pretty neat. You got a cooking fire here. You've also got a woodworking station, clothing station, and a blacksmithing station. As I snap across the room.
Check again and make sure that there wasn't any set bonuses. I don't think there was, but
no, there isn't. You also have an alchemy station and an enchanting table. So you can do all of your crafting inside of these trials, and I think that's pretty neat. Now, as you get in here and you talk to the quest giver, they'll give you a quest to do. As soon as you step inside of this, you're going to see a timer start. And it'll be in the top center of the map. Right there. Started Aetherian Archive trial. Right now, we're running the trial. And if we meet the lowest time, then we're at the top of the leaderboards.
Turn back! I will not be responsible for your deaths.
Okay. So, she's already warned me. Oh, there you go. That is the hazards that, they was talking about. That right there just snapped off, what was it, about 30% of my life. And, yeah, it's not vampire friendly. All the fire damage. But as you can see here, this is like the first mob of the trial, and I just pissed him off. And there you go. That's how quick you can die. Let me pop back up and see if I can, how long I can manage against them.
Did you not put your spell reflect on?
Didn't have time. And there you go. I mean, as you can tell, I was staying out of everything pretty much there, and that's just flares that killed me. Just their standard attack, about 400 damage a tick. You're definitely going to have to have multiple people in here to do this. Now, at the bottom, this is the death recap screen that I was talking about. Down at the bottom, you'll notice this little flame-looking thing at the very bottom now, where I can use a Field Soul Gem to revive on spot, and it also will take one of the revive counters. So right now, I've already died once, that's why we're at 59. I can revive at Waystron, which is going to put me back at the entrance of the trial, and that will also take another one. And then I can toggle the recap if I do or do not want to see it.
It's kind of hard to see with the Great Architect symbol on your stream.
Oh, I didn't think about that. That is right. But at the bottom, like I was saying, it just looks like a little fire icon, and it's got a counter there that how many resurrections your group has left to use. Now, once you go through all those resurrections, that's it. You will fail the trial, and you can restart the trial, go right back in, do it all over again if you want to. So, that's just a first glance at Craglorn with what we've seen in here so far today. I'm very impressed with what we've got so far, but we definitely need some more testing on it. And that's going to bring episode 19 points to a close. And like I said, every single week, as I do everything, you guys have the floor to ask any kind of questions about what I've covered. Again, we covered patch 1.0.5, PTS patch 1.1, which there's so many more notes about 1.1. What I went over was about probably 45% of the patch notes. So next week I'm going to finish out the remaining of those patch notes, try to get some more clear-cut answers on the burial sites, the magic anomalies, and maybe try to get in there and do something with the trials to see a little bit more about what these trials are about. Also on the map, just in case I didn't show you, the trials, they're indicated as a dual torch with a plus at the bottom of it. And again, there's your entire map of Craglorn. So again, anybody that's in the Twitch chat right now, if you have any kind of questions about episode number 19, please ask. I'll be glad to answer any questions. I've got Lanham, got Curse, Crave, Frawl, Blitz, and Dubba, Tendaval, all of us in here. We're very experienced guys with Elder Scrolls Online, and across the board can answer really, really good questions about just about anything, any class, any play style that you want to ask.
Before anybody asks, I strongly suggest that if you try to pull an all-nighter and stay awake all day, don't lay on the couch.
Is that where you been?
Dude, I
Yeah.
fell asleep at 2 o'clock and
I was like, man, we need to get this guy's number. I didn't know you was
Alright.
trying to pull an all-nighter, though.
Wow,
good
there are
time,
really no
call
questions.
336. No, that's good.
Yes, let's do it.
I guess that means that I covered the content good enough.
Looks like you did a great job. People are probably in a comatose trance.
That's right.
I know I fell
My
asleep.
question is, when are you going to make Defricon?
Defricon? I don't know.
What is that? A black defecant tank?
No, that's his Leprechaun Defa tank.
Oh, okay.
It's
Same thing.
the version of Defa that has money.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. I die too much. Alright. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for episode number 19 of ESO Recapped. And like I said, next Saturday, we'll try to get some more answers about Craglorn, the specifics of things, and also wrap up the remainder of the patch 1.1 patch notes. Like I said, I skipped a lot of stuff anyways at what I went through in the patch notes, the first 45% of the notes, but there's still a lot of notes to it. But regardless, I appreciate everybody that is tuning into these episodes, all the questions that's been asked in these episodes, and I definitely appreciate support for everything that I'm doing on the streams and through YouTube. I appreciate everybody tuning out tonight for ESO Recap 19. Appreciate everybody that's in the Great Architect community and helping me out with all this information. If you guys will sit tight in the stream, I will bring everything right back up here shortly, and I will continue to do some streaming tonight and be glad to answer any kind of questions that you guys have.